Well, hello everyone. This will be the introductory video for Principles of Macroeconomics, Section 2 for the spring of 2016. My name is Dr. Tom Scheiding. This is my second semester here at UH West Oahu, but I've been teaching economics. I got my PhD 10 years ago, so I've taught this course multiple times, and I've taught it online several times too. So hopefully we shouldn't have too many unexpected situations going on or things like that. This would be my first time teaching this course here, so there might be something that happens, but I'm on campus pretty much every day during the week, and can pretty much respond to any issues we have that are coming up. But I want to spend time in this video lecture just walking you through the structure, the setup of the course, my expectations, and then we can really expect work to start next week. So as is typical of kind of starting a course and what you would do on your first day of class, let's start talking about the syllabus. So just so you know where you can get your syllabus, let's just go on to laulima. And if you go into laulima, you'll see our course, Econ 131, Section 2. And then you'll see, I guess I should do it, I could do it as how you would see it rather than how I would see it. And you'll see a link right here for syllabus. You'd click on that and you're going to see two files. I'm going to go through each of these two files first, and then I'll walk you through what the laulima website looks like, and then walk you through any other kind of remaining materials. And right now I should say too, I'm not doing the camera on myself, if only because I'm really trying to focus you on the screen here and what you need to be doing. You'll be seeing my face more than enough in all the video lectures that I've posted. Now, I did make the video lectures just a few years ago, but I haven't changed that much. Honestly, I look pretty much the same, dress pretty much the same as I did in those videos. So they're about 3 years old, some of them, but hopefully the datedness won't take anything away, and quite frankly, economics hasn't changed in the past 3 years. Okay, so download this file right here. Or you can just watch me walk you through the file here on my desktop. Okay. So this kind of walks you through the basics of how to get in contact with me. Actually, my office is changing. Probably in a week or two, I am going to be in the E-building. I'll email everyone exactly where I'm going to be. Right now I'm in the library, but that was just temporary, and they are moving us out of here. I guess they don't love us anymore. Here are my office hours. I know it's a little bit odd because it's an online class, but essentially many of you do live on Oahu and actually are on campus, so you can feel free to make use of these office hours as well. But I mean, pretty much I'm on email all the time during the weekdays, and I'm pretty accessible. You shouldn't have to wait more than 24 hours to get a response from me, at least during the week. I get email pushed to my phone, so it's not like I'd have any excuse, at least during the week and during the day, that kind of thing. So just email me, come talk to me, give me a call. If you have any concerns or any issues. Here's the course catalog description. It's all right written, but it essentially describes quite succinctly, quite shortly, what this course does. But here's my much longer description. Essentially, this course, in addition to your Econ 130 course, are required for many of you as business majors, and I imagine that that's going to be a large part of the enrollment for this course. Some of you may even be considering an economics major, in which course both this course and the Econ 130 course would have been required. I'm not presuming that anyone has taken Econ 130, or even if you have, that you remember anything, so I'm not presuming any knowledge in economics. But essentially this course is macroeconomics, meaning that we're dealing with large economy-wide phenomenon like inflation, the rising of prices, like unemployment, people being out of work, like GDP, how much the overall economy is producing. Before we get to those macroeconomic issues, which are in part 2 of this course, though, this is where we're doing the basic economics, supply, demand, and if you had Economics 130 already, this part would be a review. So, if you've taken Econ 130 already, the first 2 to 3 weeks of this course are not going to be new material for you, but it could be new, based on just differences in how different professors teach. So you'd still have to pay attention somewhat. But if you find part 1 easy because you've taken Econ 130 already, part 2 will start to get different and then perhaps more difficult. In the third part of this course, we do look at overall differences in the central banking and in the government managing the economy, and we would look at financial crises like the Great Depression, and we would actually, in the end, look at the international economy. Okay, how will I assess your performance in this course? I wanted to make this my biggest goal was to make this so that you would be able to do everything online and not have to come to class to do exams or whatnot. So to do that, what I'm doing is that I'm making the assignments worth a quarter of your grade. These are going to be weekly assignments, and they're going to be administered with a program called My Econ Lab. If you've taken math, this is by the same people who have made Math Lab. And I think the accountants also have something that's the My something lab. So it's used across a lot of disciplines. But I'll walk you through what that is in case you haven't come across it yet. I'm going to do the assignments through this, and I'm actually also going to do the exams through My Econ Lab as well. So knowledge of that system is going to be critical to understanding how to submit things for me to then grade. The exams, you'll notice that they're increasing in weight. They're increasing in weight. I'm trying something out here because what I have found is that oftentimes it takes a while for people to get a groove of like what economics is all about, and then when they're finally getting it, those exams are counting for the same as the first exam when they didn't perform as well. So I'm going to try something where I scale them up. Now the third exam is more weighted because in this case it is a comprehensive exam, meaning it's covering everything from the beginning, the first day of class, to the end. Okay. The textbook that you need for this course is the Hubbard and O'Brien text, the Macroeconomics 5th edition, ISBN given right here. You could go to the bookstore and buy it. I think they ordered the loose leaf edition to try to save you some money. But here's my best suggestion to you, and if you're watching this video, this is where it's going to have made financial sense that you actually watched this video. I actually have no problem whatsoever with you buying the 4th edition of this book. And the 4th edition is actually significantly cheaper. Now, you need to make sure that it says macroeconomics. But I did just do a quick look just before I started getting on this here. Here's the 4th edition right here. I'm looking at it I was just lazy. I just looked at it on Amazon. Looks like from this guy you can get it for $5 plus $4 in shipping. Now you wouldn't get it for a little while, so okay, you'd have to wait. Maybe it would pay to get expedited shipping in this case. But even here, you can get it for $10. I mean, that's not bad. It's really not bad. And what I will be doing is I will be taking some images of the first and second chapter so that you do have at least 2 weeks then of time where at least you'd still have access to the material without having access to the book. As for the ISBN for this, the 4th edition, well, first it looks like this. It's a supply and demand curve that looks like this. Here's your ISBN, 978-013-283-2205. Okay, so yeah, you can get this book really cheap, paperback, 4th edition. It's essentially the same. There are no real differences between the 4th and the 5th edition. So if you're trying to save money, you can get this book for as cheap as $10. Okay. Now, the other thing that you're going to need for this course is access to my econ lab. So my econ lab, you're going to see a second file that's posted on laulima right here. So let's look at that very quickly here. Okay, so go to this file right here. And what you would see here is that I've set up a course for us. It's going to be, to find my ID, you're going to go to Shiting 50798. You'd be making sure that this is Principles of Macro, Econ 131, Section 2. Very important that it says Section 2, because I am teaching a Section 1, but that is a in-person class. So following these instructions, go to this website, type in this ID number, and then essentially follow these instructions. This will get you to the course. Now, you don't have to pay for access for the first 14 days, so if you don't know whether you're going to stay in this class or not, you could wait to do it. Also, as it says here, if you've already used Math Lab, IT Lab, Psych Lab, other things like that, you could actually use your same username and password. And the way that it looks is she looks very thoughtful about economics. Is that you're going to see, once you've signed up for the course, you're going to see a course that looks like this. Well, actually, you will see something that looks like, let's see if I can make it look like how you would see it. Actually, I can't. Never mind. I don't think I can. Okay. Well, you're going to see something that looks like a site where you're going to see the assignments posted like this. I think maybe now. No, I can't. Never mind. Okay, so you're going to see the course listed like this, and you're going to see the homeworks posted. Sorry. Don't typically go in as a student here, so forgive me. Oh, because I'm not, never mind, because I'm not signed up as you. Okay, never mind. You're going to see the assignments. You're going to see the assignments listed. I'm not going to see this because I'm not a student. So in this case, you're going to see the assignments listed. The assignments are going to be due. They're going to be 25 questions each week. You're going to have multiple attempts to solve it to get it correct. You are penalized if you are late by 15% a day. They are due consistently, almost consistently, at Sundays at 11 p.m. You can essentially work ahead as much as you want, at least on these assignments. But you're going to see that the and I'm just showing you right here. You're going to see that on the schedule here, I'm going to show you that you have my Econ Lab assignments due, and you're going to see them due about once a week. You can work ahead on the assignments, but the exam only can be taken in a specified time frame. So essentially what I'm doing here is I'm allowing you to work ahead as much as you want, but I'm only letting you fall behind so much, essentially. Um, if when you see these dates for the exam that day at those times there's a problem, let me know as soon as possible. We will figure something else out. But for assignments, there's not really much I can do about excuses, if only because you have the time to anticipate that a conflict would come up and you could do the assignment earlier. Plus, there is the ability to do the assignment with the penalty. Now, the cost for accessing my econ lab is $62. So essentially, you could get away with, in this course, paying $10 for the book and then $62 for my econ lab. So get out with $72. Or you actually have an option as well. When you sign up for my econ lab, you could actually get a copy of the textbook electronically. And so you can get my econ lab and the electronic copy of the text together, all of that for $109. So you can get all the materials you need for this course rather inexpensively. I've tried my best to make it as inexpensive as possible. It's hard because at this place you're paying quite honestly, you're paying essentially $864 for this class. So I realize that this is adding up to be something like 12% of the cost of this course. So I'm trying to keep things as low as possible here, but you should not, if you want to be as cost efficient as possible, you could get away with paying as little as $72 for this class. We will be, as you can see with my econ lab, that's the most expensive thing you need to buy, but you will be using it a lot. The primary thing we use for assignments, primary thing we use for exams. Okay. If you're buying the 4th edition online as well, if you want to send me a link just to make sure you're buying the right thing, happily will review it and tell you if you're getting the right thing or not. Just let me know. Okay. Going on. So the policies, well, for an online class, they're obviously a little bit different. Essentially, my 2 policies are the following. First, the deadlines are the deadlines. And it's not because I'm trying to be mean or I'm trying to impose things on others. And it's hard because I've been in class. I was a student once in the past, and I've had professors where they did it. You felt like they were doing it to establish their dominance or anything like that. Well, I don't have to feel like that. I understand the power relation here. I have the professor, you're the student. So I don't need to impose deadlines to establish that. The reason why there are deadlines essentially in this course is because it's the way that I make things as fair as possible. So I say that because there are times when something could come up in your life where it would be fair to give you an extension, and you could happily email me. The worst I would say is no way, or not respond at all, and then you could just take it as a no way, and then you could just take the 15% hit, or 30% hit if you're late 2 days. But if something has happened where you feel like it would be fair if you had an extension, email me. I mean, the worst I say is nothing at all, or no. But it's possible that I think it would be fair to give you that extension. Otherwise, there won't be an extension. And especially for the exam, it would have to be something quite serious, like medically, or something completely unanticipated for you not to be able to take an exam in a essentially 15-hour period that I'm giving you. The second policy would be that there's no individual extra credit. I just don't think that it's fair again. So essentially, both of my policies are designed around fairness. In terms of integrity, this is a pretty standard policy. The work you submit is your own. That doesn't say you can't work with others, but the work you submit must ultimately be your own. If in doubt, ask, but essentially, you know, when you're doing assignments, essentially my presumption is that you are looking in the book. You are looking at your notes. Now, when you're doing your exam, that's a little bit tougher, right? Let's just be kind of honest here with each other. The presumption would be is that I can't possibly stop you from looking at a book, if only because I could say, I could make it proctored and make you come to campus. So I'm not going to do that because I think that with online learning, you're learning in a different way that might not, that you might be understanding the material but not necessarily memorizing the material. But there is a time limit on taking the exam, and that time limit will not make it possible for you to look up everything. So you would have to keep that in mind. If you tried to look up everything in that time period, you will not finish the exam on time. So you will have to know the material to some extent. I've posted the deadlines in terms of withdrawing from the course. Here is the grading scale. This is pretty standard. An example of how I would then calculate your grade given certain scores. And in my econ lab, it will be keeping track of your scores, so that will make life a little bit easier. There's our online class policy. The online class policy essentially being you can work ahead, but I only will let you fall behind so much. And then here is our general schedule. Essentially, we are, with just a few exceptions, you are basically reading and assessed on a chapter a week. Keeps your life a little bit simple. And then there are 3 parts of this course. Each part to this course ends with an exam, with the third and final exam being comprehensive and occurring during the normal exam period. So what would you need to be doing for this course then? What you need to be doing is you need to be signing up for my econ lab in this first week of the course and figuring out what you're going to do for your book situation. In the first week of the class, I will be posting a PDF that has the first and second chapters of the book so that if you're ordering the book, you'll have enough time but yet not fall behind in the class. And you should be starting then to work on the first My Econ Lab, which would be due the following Sunday at 11 p.m. Now let's just talk about the laulima course a little bit more. So what you'll see here under the weekly schedule are the 15 weeks of this class, the 16th week being the final exam week. Let's just take a somewhat random week here. I'm just going to pick week 4. Oh, I need to exit student view because I need to publish this course still. Sorry, I picked a week that did not have anything. Okay. So here you will see that I'm going to be covering chapter 3 in week 3. And what you'll see for each chapter are 3 things. First, you will see a file because I haven't told it how I want to open it. You will see a file that has essentially the PowerPoint that I would have used if you were sitting in on the physical class. This isn't a narrated PowerPoint. This is basically what I consider this to be is a 41 slide summary of the chapter that you should have been reading. Then, what you will also see is a file that represents the typed up notes that I would have had, let's say, in front of me while I was lecturing, if I were a person that followed notes. So here you see a little bit more depth, you see a little bit more detail about the material. And then third, what you'll see as a material, as a resource for this class, are videos for this course. Again, I haven't changed that much. These are a little bit dated, but not too dated. But essentially, you can, let's see here, you can see me posted here, and you could make this, well, actually you can't. Actually, you could make this look larger here by opening it up in YouTube. So you can make this video look larger by clicking on the YouTube link, and there you go.
So what we're using here is supply and demand.
And here, essentially, this is me talking twice. Essentially, you would see me sitting in my office, looking very professorial behind a lot of books, but you would see me talking about the lecture. And I probably have a whiteboard here at some point, I would imagine. I'm pointing at something in that. But essentially, you should see something where I'm walking you through the material as well. So, what should you be doing for each of these chapters if you're really trying to understand the material, which I really hope you're trying to do, is that you'd be reading the book, looking at the PowerPoint, maybe even printing it out, looking at the typed lecture notes, and then watching the videos. If you're doing all four of those things, you are going to understand the material well. You are going to perform well on the MyEcon Lab and on the exam. So you'll see this posted for each and every week. For an exam, I will post a study guide. So you should have something to study, or some salient points to look at. Here's another one. Again, same format, PowerPoint, typed up notes, and then a link that you would click on for videos. And then again, if you're... Now, I should say this too. The chapter that it corresponds to here isn't necessarily the chapter in your book, because I was using a book where it was combined micro and macro, so it's different than what you have. Disregard that. I know the chapter that we're on. But again, if you want to make a video look larger, you would hit play and then hit the YouTube link, and you can see it in a much bigger screen.
In this video,
but again, I'm making it look right here so that it's easy for all of you to find. Okay, I think what I'll do here at this point is stop this really long video, and I'll make one more video probably in the coming days that will walk you through the MyEcon Lab sign-up process. Okay, so welcome to the class. I'll send everyone an email that welcomes them to the class more formally and tells them to watch this video, but email me if you have questions or concerns.